Hello. I am back from the break. YouTube viewers, welcome to episode number 4 of the Tiny Train series. I think cutting it up into shorter videos is a good idea. Let me know whether a single 4 hour would be preferable to cutting it into the two hours, but I don't know, I think it's better like this. We'll see. It's not much effort, so I don't really mind either way. We'll see how it goes. We're making great progress today already. We've got our blue science up and running, which might open the door to a few things at the moment. We've also laid out a lot of our kind of rail-based stuff that we're going to need to get our rail grid into place and get these tiny trains up and running, which is a big job in itself to kickstart the whole thing. But we're getting those components put together, a few more to do. If we get all the pieces being manufactured, even if it's slowly, once they are running, we can begin the design work on what the grid is going to look like, maybe put some blueprints together, and then begin building that out. I don't know if we'll start making the grid in this session. I doubt it, but we will see how far we get. So let's unpause, hop back into the game, and we are dealing with water fill, which is a nice complicated one. We're going to need to bring all the inputs over. A lot of them are a bit far back. We're going to need this steel, which is, yeah, not enough. Probably going to need some iron for bits and pieces. Not sure about copper. I don't think it is needed, but we'll line it up at least. Over here somewhere we should find stone brick, which is needed for the concrete. The stone uncooked, I don't believe is needed. We can check that, can't we? It's not. The sulfur is, and the plastic is not. Okay. Let's bring some sulfur down and some stone brick then. At least get them to the front, which is quite a long way down now. I don't know, maybe we could have built this more compactly. A lot of little short ones that maybe could have been combined or something. Whatever. We'll tidy it up later, won't be an issue. Okay, there at the front. So we're also going to need 2 new lines here. This is for iron ore and coal. And then we need to bring water over, which I guess can be the next row. We'll do that as pipe, but do it in the next row, that's fine. I'm not sure if there's any more raw resources we're going to need to fit on this bus on the outside or something. We'll see how it goes. I don't think there's many other things in existence. We'll see. I've come entirely the wrong way for the coal. Well, it depends. We have coal here. In fact, you know, we have coal and iron ore here, and we can just grab them both and run them off the top. Or we could mine coal from here. But I don't know, we're coming to get the iron anyway. Why don't we just bring it from here? It does endanger our coal supply to our power generation, I guess. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. We'll see. Also, it doesn't line up nicely, so maybe we'll go with the other one just because this doesn't line up nicely. There's plenty of coal at the moment. Kind of. It's a close one, but there is plenty at the moment. Now, power we're probably going to need more soon. I think we should take it from the other end. So we're going to need to make some drills in order to do that. Just going to move this as well a bit. We'll run it next to this one. And yeah, we'll turn that coal to go from the other direction as we run back the other way. A couple of drills. I mean, 2 should do it. I hope. What is the actual? I mean, we can get the number here. This type of drill, 3 drills is what we want. Okay. We've got that. Cool. Down here. So we can either split this and it looks like there's sufficient there, or we can create a 4th line back here. Make sure there's enough. Probably do that. Gonna need a few more splitters as well to sort this out. I'm out of iron. Just run down here a little ways and grab some. If there's any sat around, That'll do us. Make a few more splitters while we're at it. Add that there. Best to do so. One there. Prioritise the smelting, I guess. Split that, and then some that is left can go onto there. Perfect. Just take this junk bits and pieces I've picked up, throw them out. So iron ore is flowing, and we'll head towards the start of the bus. Looks good. I'm going to dig this up then. We'll take it to that extra coal patch, just randomly mine up a bit there. Why not? That's a lot of belt I laid down that we didn't need. Oops. Never mind. Here we are. Back at the start. Where is it? Kind of here. Where are we going with it? There. So we want to bring it up in this gap here. If that lines up okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. It's not the starter pack, so it's nice and rich and dense. Look at that. How lovely. Get 4 of them laid out maybe. Which way did I do that? The one touching the pole is pointing left. That's not ideal. Get one there. Let's go with there, and there, and there. And there's the line we're going to run up. That'll do. That'll get the job done at least. Nice. Okay. Still not sure about the copper, but bring all these things up. There we go. The water, right. The only water available is back at the start, so we need to sort that out. We're going to need a pump. That type. And then a whole load of underground, I guess. Maybe connect this up. Could run it. I'm not too fussed about like in this gap here, because most of it's underground and you don't see it. It's not too much with the like next to the pole look that I dislike so much. How much do we need? I know we're going pretty slow with it, but still. Okay, yeah, 0.22 of a pump. Not much. Could probably do with a inline pump further up, which you're going to need engine units to make. Luckily there's some just set on the belt here. Helpful. Might need more than one. Let's go back to that wiki page I bookmarked and work this out. So this is units per second. So if we've got 15,540 units per minute, that's what we've got configured there. We're moving 259 units per second. So the maximum number of pipe units between each pump is somewhere around 800. So I think we're good. I might put one anyway, but we shouldn't have any issues. I'm going to need some regular pipe up this end as well. Shouldn't be an issue just running it all in one long line. And there. Try and run that down without getting in the way of where inserters might live. That's there, and then yeah, I'm happy running it there. Put that on the corner. Run this over. Could count the amount of pipe. What's that? So that's 21. 23 with that. Pretty sure we're not going to hit 800. A couple hundred maybe, but still. Oh, that one didn't. A little bit of belt got in the way. Gonna happen every now and then. Could we... yeah, no. This is to make the water fill, so when we've got a little bit, we could move this closer. But we need to make some before we could do that. And there's no other way of getting the water over there to make some. Bringing the other ingredients over here by hand, or yeah, it's not the way to do it. I need to go a little bit further, so I need a bit more iron, please. If there's any going spare around here. Yep, some down here. Grab what we can of all that, and underground is expensive. Takes a while to craft even at the magical speeds we go. This is a long way actually, I'm not... the pump there, let's keep going this way then. Yeah, we just pump off this random bit up here, I think. Connecting that up. Let's cancel a few of them to get the above, but make some spares in case I want to juggle things around at all. There we go. Disconnect that corner. So that is now pumping water. Out of curiosity, that's like 100 pipe. So it's like 120, 130 units. So the pressure should be enough to feed at the rate we are consuming, but still, if we put a pipe close to the far end, the pipes into the machines will be a bit denser, and that could help. I don't want to help, it could look nicer, I guess. Is why I'm doing it. Okay. Where is the steel used here? It's used to make the blue sides. Okay. Let's shift back up a bit. I don't know. We should probably just stop researching prematurely in order to get the steel flowing. You know, this far down, it's not really coming, but we'll see. It's okay for now. No immediate issue. Let's just put the pump here. Looks good. Fills those pipes in more. Sure. Okay, so grenades are iron plate and coal. Iron plate here. What else needs iron plate? Not you. Not you and nothing. Okay, cool. You need steel. And you're the only one. Okay. You're taking sulfur and coal. So if coal is here, and sulfur, maybe, and the explosives are going out there, into there, along with the barrels and the grenades, which, yeah, a bit awkward. Okay. That pipe needs to move. Can go there, I think. Sure, it's going to move the steel out. The grenades are going under there. The barrels... We want to join the grenade, but does that... which side does that put it on? The correct side, perfect. Or the side we wanted. So that'd be shared belt grenades and barrels into here. That pipe also needs to move. That's fine. That's making cliff explosives, I think. I think everything's accounted for there. Up here, we need the iron ore and the stone brick, which we've not brought in at all yet. Sure. Iron ore, stone brick. See about this, but okay. Into there. That goes under the way. That can go output to there, that's fine. and go to the inside of there. So that's cliff explosive and concrete, just going into those two. Yep, along with the water. And then those two go out and into that one, which goes into... We'll use an iron storage. That'll be more than enough water fill. Actually, let's just do like that much. Just to have some. That's like 1,000, I think, which will be fine. Even 500 if it's that would be fine. To make some. Good. Lots of inputs to deal with here. So this first one is steel. Perfect. Next one is iron. Next, not that. Yes, that. Coal. Which don't think we're going to use for anything else, so I'm probably just going to run that straight in there. I think that'll be fine. We can always change it later. Next line is sulfur, so it's sulfur, iron ore, and stone brick. It's a bit awkward, but that one has to be sulfur. Okay. Send the coal under, and that can run there. Iron ore's then in a bit of a... that's okay. Assuming we don't want any more concrete elsewhere, I can feed these in. Which we might. Not sure on that. Again, we can change it if we need to. Kind of can't. If we end up needing to change that. I don't know how we do it. Oh, we can. Yeah, that's fine. That moves to there. We split the sulfur, and that goes under. No. Yep. Goes under to there. Split the iron ore. And that is going onto that line. Looks fine, I think. And then the stone brick goes here. Sure, I've ended up with a bunch of junk in my inventory, no doubt. Let's clear that out a little. If we can. Oops. Preferably without making more of a mess. Need to scoop this side anyway. Never mind, we'll have to live with that. We'll clear it out next time we're over by the smelters or something. That's all doing fine, other than there's not enough steel to keep the barrels going, but it is, we can see, making what it's supposed to, and making the medium water fill, which is great. Could cut all that pipeline out now and move it closer, but it's all good. Perfect. It wasn't as much of a headache as I was imagining. I guess the small scale helps with that. Get these trees out of the way, extend ourselves over another line and see what's up next. I think it's like storage tanks and pumps, which will be needed for any fluid train stations. But yes, we've hit a rock. Let's clear that out of the way. Okay. Check the plan then. Pump. Some arbitrary number to see everything. So that's a combined pipe for 2 stages, okay. So we want to throttle this to make that easy. Reduce it so the number of engine units is smaller. Kind of doesn't matter. Again, it's not something we need to make a lot of. A bit more than that then. 9. 9's a good. Yeah, 9 per minute's good. I'm happy with that. So 1 wheel, 1 pipe, 3 engine, 1 pump. What's count already? 1 wheel, 1 pipe, 3 engine, 1 pump. There we go. So these need iron in, they go out. Get them onto a shared belt. Into those things along with steel. Get them out. Into there along with steel. Right. That's fine. Just turn the steel at the end. That's not right. Steel is there. Okay, yeah, and that's iron. And pipe. Ooh. Yes, I remember. We could cut this so that the gear wheels don't go any further, but it's such a short distance, I don't think that really matters. We'll do it like that. Output into, again, iron storage. Well, could have just done iron storage all the way. We don't really need that much of anything or everything. Could limit that as well. We'll let it do it all. That's fine. Perhaps a waste of steel, but we'll live. Good. Steel first, then iron. That doesn't quite work. We need to stagger it a little. Just make a few more of them while I notice how short we are. Wiggle that around a bit so we can get the steel to carry on forward. And yep, we need some underground as well. I've queued that up. Put that in a second. But that's good for making the pumps. And then the storage tanks are same kind of ingredients and dead simple, so we might fit that here too. How do I swear I click on this to change the amount I want. Oh, it's linked. Don't know why. Something earlier that was using them, like the fluid wagon, linked to it. I don't quite understand that. I should do some research on what Helmod's linking system does, how that works. Not terribly important right now, but I haven't got a clue, so it would be interesting. Just, yeah, 1 will make 10 a minute, that's fine. And again, at the end is a bit awkward. I mean, we accidentally built things a bit too far forward there, so why don't we intentionally build a bit too far forward here? It gets us the steel and the stuff. Fill that storage up there. I don't know, taking steel away from where it's intended, but I will. Even if the amount we're supplying isn't like enough, I haven't been checking how many belts of stuff we need in any of them. We've just been sending 1 in all the time, and if that means some things are going slower, so be it. It's just to feed us the initial components, and ultimately we move it all into the grid to make it at good rates, faster rates, hopefully. We'll see how fast we can really get. That looks good to me, just needs the steel to arrive. That does those 2. Not many things left now. Another more complicated one now with the stack inserters. We might need stack filter inserters. It's an interesting thought, actually. If we wanted them, where are they? Is question number 1. They don't jump out so fast. Goes into stack. They are researched as part of this, so we just add electronic circuits to stack. So I haven't finalised the design or anything, but I know offhand if we're going to unload a single wagon, it takes 4 inserters to make a full belt. 4 fully upgraded stack inserters make just over a belt, and that's the kind of neatest way without min-maxing or fiddling around with things is to have like 1, 2, 3, 4. They combine to form a belt, and those get joined together, and that's on one side of the wagon, and we can do the other side of the wagon to make a second belt, and that's like the maximum we can get out if the wagons arrive fast enough for that to work. We'd stagger that with like a box in between and whatever to keep things unloading. The precise design not terribly important right now. The point is, if we're unloading a belt of something here and a belt of something on the other side and we want it to be different things, then we need to filter the inserters so they unload the correct thing. And that could be relevant. Because, I mean, we could not combine them, for example. If what we're doing in this block requires us to unload, you know, we've got the cardinal directions, 3 points to unload, 1 to load the outbound goods, let's say. So in theory, you can only unload 3 ingredients. Anything we want to make that has more than 3 physical ingredients, we can't unload them. Which isn't many things, I guess, but they exist. Fluid wagon. We could do by just bringing the iron and the steel. Okay. Am I overthinking it? I know I'm not, but I need to find an example just to get my head right. I was also imagining we were going to put intermediate ingredients on the network. So the train stop, for example, we would have iron plate, steel plate, and iron sticks and electronic circuits delivered. But we could just deliver iron, copper, and steel instead, which makes it more achievable. Explosives only need 3 things, but then you give them into cliff explosives. So if we put explosives on the network, then we could do that with only 3 things. Iron, coal, steel. No, we couldn't. We'd also have to put grenades and empty barrels on the network. Which, again, you put all the intermediate ingredients on, then it's the train stop that becomes the issue. But in the case of the train stop, following the other logical line, if we had a station unloading iron plate, one doing steel plate, one doing iron stick, and we're stuck, or we have a station that unloads iron plate and steel plate, provided that the required amount is a belt of each, then both of those trains can arrive at the same station, and the filters, we can do a belt of iron on one side and a belt of steel on the other side, and it can alternate and whatever. It's not perfect, but I think there will be situations where we need more than 3 things unloading and 1 output. I'm pretty sure they will exist, and therefore we should use filtered inserters so that we can manage that. I'm really uncertain about it now. Is Factorio specifically designed so that there's only ever 3 ingredients in everything? Processing unit, flying robot frame, and low density structure. Maybe? Or am I crazy? Is like, we just done blue and that was 3 things. Maybe it is. Purple? 3 things. 3 things we wouldn't necessarily put on the network, but we could do so in order to achieve what we need to. Be kind of nice if it is all 3 things. Can't get that. So the rocket, is it in the list somewhere as a rocket rather than the science pack? I thought it was. It's 3 ingredients though, right? Am I crazy? The rocket is low density structure, rocket control unit, and rocket fuel. I feel like there's something else to it. Can I find it in this list? Oh, well, the satellite is 6 things. You could use 2 adjacent squares to get all 6 unloaded, I guess. Or it's 7 raw ingredients. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm confident we need to get filters. Semi-confident we need to use filters. And considering the cost of making the filter is only to add some green circuits on top, I'm kind of happy with that. Move that one. Same as we were going to do, but add green ones on top. And at least it gives us some extra tool, some extra freedom for a small extra cost that I will accept. Now it's more of an issue than it will be in the future. In the future it won't matter so much anyway. But we'll go with that. So we need to make the stack, which needs the fast, which needs the regular. There are red circuits involved there. All of that needs green circuits. And there's a bunch, so I kind of like to do the wire specifically for that, then the green circuits, then the wire for the green circuits. Then we just got a bunch of gear wheels to go into that stage as well. And the input is iron, copper and plastic. And where are we throttled at the moment? 3 of them. Not bad, was it 15 a minute? 1 stack filter inserter every 4 seconds. Seems fine. And increasing it. I mean, these are small numbers, we could just increase it. So we went for double. I think double again would be a round number all over the place. Like one of these, one of these, one of these. Not sure we got the input to do that. Possibly. No, we'd need like a whole belt of gears, which requires 2 whole belts. Yeah, that's more than we can afford to make. Let's go with the small number. The very small number. It's throttled by the red circuits being 3 grey machines. Seems fine. Is it worth messing around with different card machines? Don't think so. You just make a bunch more of the grey ones before we get started trying to build this out. Looking a bit low on iron. That's just throughput, right? Yeah, we're still good. I'm not. It'll be way too soon for things to run out. But the edges are really running short now. It's nice. I like when these patches clean up like that, but we do have to worry about the coal supply to the power generation. Randomly not being enough. Not randomly. It's not enough because we're draining it all. It's not really random. Still. Okay for a while longer. Let's get some power coverage over here as well. It'll take up a bit of space making this one. Lots of small elements, I guess, but lots of them might take up some space to wiggle everything around. We'll see how it goes. Let's get some of these trees out of the way too. Here we go. That last row in the right place. Okay, where do we begin? Probably with the electronics. That's what I generally do, is begin with the electronics. Bringing all that together. So we'll do the 10 making the cable into the 7 making the green circuits. Starting there. Don't want to do it all in one row, no, so 7 here. This is cable, this is greens. That one. Copper in. Oh, what's the actual rate on this? Belt wise, I guess is the issue. It is 1.25 yellow belts out. Okay. 1.25, so we can do 7 on one belt. And then we need to split it. It's very awkward. And it's not half, because that's an odd number of machines. Very awkward. Okay. That's not an odd number of machines. What? It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be 7. Yeah, 10 of them. So it's 5 to 3.5. Could put an extra machine of green in order to separate them. Why not? Just separate them a bit more, obviously. That half is then only needing a belt for that half, and so on. We do need to alternate the sides on the belt somehow. It's not a whole belt right now. It is just over half, right? So you just need to put some on the other side. So if we there move them over, 3 on the inside, 2 on the outside, that would be fine. And copper up there, and the copper input is less because it makes 2 for every 1. Yep, that makes sense. Single copper in, 2 sets of that out, feed them in here. With 2 inserters each, right? Not necessary because we're not trying to go at full speed, but anyhow, I ought to get in the practice of doing it if it's what you need until we get that upgrade, which isn't far away, but still. They need iron plates in, which can be 1 each, and same speed of output. Okay, so let's go in on the short. Out on the long. Take those all up, ready to join something as I go over. Seems fine. So iron in there, copper in there, and that should make the right amount of green circuits. Then we need some of them turning into red circuits, sure, which is the 3. So 1 making cable, 3 making reds. Could we do that like at the top here? Probably. Leave a little gap. 1 more making that, and then 1 making reds. What are the inputs put together? So that 0.63 and 0.04, so yeah, it should be fine. That into there. Might as well split this actually. Maybe. Say we do, and that comes up there. No, 3 machines, not 1. 1 of them and 3 of them. Got that a bit wrong. Let's move that down as well. In there, out there. Try not to grab from the corner, so we do that little bend there. And then those in there. And out on the long handled. Running a bit low on, so we'll craft a few more of them. So then we've got greens and reds there. In amount. Do the greens need more than half a belt on their output? No. But I've rounded up quite a lot, which doesn't matter. We don't need them, then we don't need to round up the amount of belt space needed. 0.42 of belts, so they're on half a belt, reds are on half a belt. Might not be ideal, but it's okay, in theory. So we then need 4 making gear wheels, and then each of the stages of inserter. See how this all comes together. We'll need to leave a gap. Is that the right spot? It is. 4 gear wheels. And then yellow. Doesn't really matter how we do it. Yellow, blue, green, white. Yellow, blue, green, white. Not sure if we need long-handled ones. I doubt we would. Not fast enough. We'll need them for making the base in the future, but not for like the grid specifically and the stations. Bring iron in there. Though it is already there. Let's a separate line would be safer, I think. Let's check how much they need actually. Could be a bit. It's more than half a belt of iron in, which will not be available in general, but it'll be fine. Just over quarter belt out, so that's fine on just one side, though I am out of belt. Let's go resupplying. A hell of a long run now, but let's run back and get it. I'm assuming we also would need lubricant to make exoskeletal legs to make me run faster. So we won't get that done before we make the grid. We'll be running at this speed for a while. While we're up this end, I am going to clear out the iron ore that has ended up in my inventory. Into here. Any coal? Yep, I can go into. Bit stone. Might as well bring that over to here. There we go. That's all good. And scoop up a bit of the finished stuff in case there's more things to handcraft soon. Bit of steel. Not much to nick, but there we go. Belt is here. Get a whole bunch of that. We're good on inserters though. Everything else I might just queue up some splitters, underground and reds. There we go. Stuff we need in general. Just in radar too. That would be good to get placed out. We've now gone beyond our coverage. We get the next one put in the northeast here somewhere. Hopefully not on top of a building we've already placed. I guess we'll see. No, it wants to be a little further over, in fact, over here. Okay, might get in the way then. Where's the previous one? There. It's off the top left of a pole. In this area-ish. Just gonna put a ghost in and then... So off the top left of that pole probably would be a good spot for it. How's that? Doesn't cover our coal. Don't particularly want to run a line all the way down here. I mean, we did for this radar, and I guess that one. We could run another line of poles just to get coverage on that. Seems a bit overkill. We'll leave it for now. I've got my belt over here now, so we want to use it. Which of these are taking gear wheels? The yellow and the green. Okay. And then iron plate is needed in the first two. Yellow and blue. Green circuits are needed in all of them, right? Yeah. Okay. Makes that simple. Let's move that over to be consistent. So greens run there for all of them. Hopefully that's all good. So 3 elements of the first one are done. That needs to go out back into its neighbour. That's a bit of a long loop to do that. Every now and then I do want yellows though, so I don't mind picking up some extras. Everything for the blues are done. They can feed into the greens, which just need the red circuits. Spaces at the back here. Put that in. Then they need to go out and back into their neighbour. Which just needs those two, the greens and the green circuit. Okay, pretty simple. That goes out into... Let's give it a big storage, because we probably will just switch over to using them everywhere like we did in the previous one. It's a bit annoying to set them up, to change their mode to blacklist every time. But if we've got them as the one we're making, then we've got them as the one we're making. Their power draw is no doubt higher, but when we start building in the grid, hopefully that won't be an issue, as long as we can keep the coal flowing. So one thing that worries me a bit about the build, actually, and not having the mods we had before, is there's no simple, easy, infinite power generation. We need to supply the coal or the nuclear power, or we have to go solar, which with a small grid would be a lot of squares. But we might do that. At least a few of them probably will do, just to have a variety of power sources. Inputs then. Inputs for this, what we've just built. Not many. Means it's probably not going to run very fast. Copper is the first one. I need to bring it forward to know where it lines up with. Good guess. And there it goes and connects up. And then there must be an iron. And another iron there. That's not... There's something missing here. There's definitely something missing here. That's too simple for what we've just built. The red circuits need plastic. Okay. Which is going to have to be long-handled in from there. Which we'll want to do that too, I guess, to stop them from joining. The alternative is a splitter that pushes the plastic out of the way. Which, either way, I don't like the look of it. Don't want to grab off a corner, so that needs to go up, which means we just need a few extra poles in the right spot at the top there. Plastic can run up here. Knew something didn't quite feel right. Need to bring the plastic over. Left it a while back, didn't we? Could have maybe organised this a bit. Better to use the things together. Some plastic here and some all the way down here. Not a big deal. But still. Okay. Needs to go under all that, really. And then under again. Just because the splitters there. Oh, it needs to. That doesn't work. Okay. Unless we just don't use plastic after this point on purpose. Don't need to based on our plans. So let's hope that we, like, legitimately don't need to. Well, see how that goes. Okay, some plastic to get that going. And we'll have stack filter inserters, which we will need. Left on the plans, belt stuff, and just steel chests. I mean, just throw that anywhere. Right there is fine. If the steel ever makes it this far. Oh, there's a bunch. Not a lot, but some. We will need steel chests for the train stations, for sure. That's what we will want to use. To them. Excellent. So just belt stuff, which I'm still unsure of. Look, we can just scoop up iron and handcraft it. If we're going to craft it here, we were already making belt back at the start. We could just use that. Our station design will undoubtedly need splitters and undergrounds, and a lot of them, so we should make those at least. Maybe we don't. We're already making belt at the start, we just make splitters and undergrounds here. And I'm okay with using the yellow initially and setting up production of the red and the blue within the train grid. Rather than setting up the red now, which we have available, and turning it into blue later. That doesn't seem necessary, I guess. If it's not blue, it's not blue, and things are going to run slow until it is blue. So might as well just be the cheap stuff until we can get the blue stuff. I think. I can't see much point in running it marginally faster at red. Well, it's not. It's a lot faster. It's just irrelevant, really. I think. So yeah, yeah. We'll just we'll skip the belt. We're already making that. What have I just clicked? Get rid of that. The view resetting to the top every time is very annoying. With the way that the screen is laid out, it happens a lot. Like just clicking on that. Like this is the one I have open. I should be looking at that, not the top of the list. Maybe it's not designed to have this many rows in or something. The factory planner mod was better for this type of breaking it down. I just don't entirely understand what their intention is. But, you know, I've only been using it for as long as we've been doing this run, so there you go, you know. No big deal. We could combine some things here with the splitters. I think I will add that in as well. We'll see how that goes. Just one of those compulsive things. We did the chest first, so I'm going to move that up to where we did it. And then we'll look at this. Some arbitrary small number is fine. 30 of them and 60 of them. That seems a bit like overkill, but we'll see. Adding that belt together is only 3 machines of that. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Go for that then. Although, does splitting it make more sense? So 60 underground belt, and then add splitter at 30 and the belt. That would be one whole machine here. Yes, you might as well split that. But then gears looks like it would be similar. I think they're better off split down. So I'll add, back at the top level, splitters again as a new block. Terminology's a bit better in this thing, I think. I can't really remember what it was in Factory Planner. That and that, they're all nice round numbers, and then yeah, this is not, but electronics for you. It's the underground, nice and simple-ish. Just a bunch of iron is needed, but yeah, 2 machines making gear wheels, 2 making belt, 1 makes the underground. And there's iron right there, which... let's not make a mess. What was it? 2, 2, and then 1. 1 1/4, 1 1/4, which is a bit annoying, but there we go. And 1. That's simple enough. Iron in all of them. Yep. And gear wheels into there. And the belt. Might be better if the belt was on, because it's making 2 every half second and we don't have the grabbing upgrade yet. So it'd be better if that was on a short inserter. Be better if it was all, or where are we on research? Inserter capacity, there it is. It would take a while. Do that one, then that one gives it to us. So maybe it just goes a bit slower until we reach that point. Sure, it just goes a bit slower until we reach that point. And here it's inserting to 5 every second. That's going to want extra, for sure. But that should be okay. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we could do both sides. It's a bit weird, but we've got the space to do it, so why not? Put the storage in there. Sure. That might get the throughput good. Well, I don't know. Just needs a whole bunch of iron putting in. Let's get that sorted out. There's a whole bunch of iron here. Surprises me a bit. So a lot of things must have filled their storage in, and that's why so much is reaching this far, but that's pretty cool. Like that. That is underground belt. I think we're going to need a bit more power coverage to do the splitters as well. Just do 1 for now. No, we're going to need more than that. I'll do 2. That's the last thing on the list though, so this is kind of where we're finishing up. A long way from the start. Probably should have turned it around. Would have made my life quicker running in circles and stuff. Not a big deal though. Not at all. Let's open up the last plan. Okay. Do the electronics 4 to 3. I need more machines. So why is not going anywhere else? No. 4 to 3, okay. Are we throttled? Yeah, by the last machine. Cool. That's fine. All good. Radar might get in the way. 4 to 3, and then 1 gear wheel, 1 belt, 1 splitter. Kind of is in the way. Iron is running up here anyway for this, but we could put it on this side. Gear wheel, belt, splitter. That might work. Or even gear wheel, belt, splitter on that side. See how that goes. So we have copper in for them, and then they go out on that side. They need 2 inserters at the moment. May not be relevant for too long. But they're going less than half a belt. Yeah. Oh, exactly half a belt? Okay, we'll live with that. Iron there. Into that, that, and that, but not that. No, into that as well. A little awkward. Do a little loop at the end for the iron. That's going out and back into its neighbour. The gear wheels are not needed there. The belt is. That over the top. And then the green circuits are going out and into there. The bigger power coverage. There we go. And that's it. 3 inputs. And it goes into a box. Very nice. Inputs are just the 2 down here. Iron first. And then copper there. Which we need to bring over. Hello, Mondo. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Not got any jammies emotes available. Damn. I was thinking about just putting all of my emotes on BTTV so that people can use them here regardless. Everyone could have a little wiggly dance. Copper goes in. Makes cable. Cable makes circuits. Yes. Which makes splitter, so splitter underground. I think that's everything. Seems good. It's everything we put in the list, which may or may not be everything. Oh, who knows? But it's certainly enough to get started building stuff out, that's for sure. And in good timing too. Pretty happy with that. We'll leave that running, making stuff as we plan and build and design and everything like that. Can you make emotes available for the followers? Some of them, but not the animated ones. I don't think. I'm pretty sure you can't make animated follower emotes. They have to be static. And I think I've got 5 follower slots and 6 static emotes, so 1 would get left out. We can vote on which one remains subscriber only. Okay. Starter base. Looking good. Very, very minimal stuff, but it's getting bits built. Might like the last corner radar to be there just for the sake of it, you know me. It will bother me if it's not there, so we'll bring that over. Oh, you forgot about BTTV. Yeah, I've got... there's global ones, aren't there, for BTTV that are everywhere. Click the right button and I'll be able to see. There's no global jam emote? No. But I've got Rat Jam and Bongo Tap active. Where's Cat Jam from? I didn't switch it on. Did I? Oh, I have no idea. Yeah. There's a whole bunch there. Plenty to keep you busy. Get these trees out of the way first, and then we'll just run this line further east to put the radar where it should be. Then we'll look at designing our tiny train grid, which is exciting. Bring this over to where the other one was. It's like that building there, I think. A bit of a walk. around here-ish. Let's get that lined up. So that's to the top left of this pole. I'm sure that's consistent. That's fine. That one there-ish. Close enough. That radar goes there. And we get full coverage of our entire starter base. Not bad going. Dark Souls 2 got the best of you. Well, in which way? You've given up on it completely, or you eventually gave in and started playing it? Oh no, you can, yeah. 1 run a day at most. 3 hours for a run. I mean, that's not... You think about the amount of time it takes to do a run in Crusader Kings, for example. It's like days and days. So it's not like it's crazy for a game to expect you to do a bit and save, come back to it later. But I don't think the gameplay of Darkest Dungeon lends itself to that. It's more like your Darkest Dungeon 2, I mean. It's more like your Slay the Spires, you know, your half hour for a run. Nick Blue, hello. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Please give point redemption schemes. What point redemption would you like? Did Major League Int on Dota 2? No idea what that means, but it's a lot of scary words, so I'm assuming not entirely fun. Clear these out. Okay, so 1 kill, 12 deaths. Doesn't sound fun. Damn. We're good. We're making stuff. We can start planning our grid, I think. Can't see any reason not to. So I've got editor extensions enabled. I should be able to hit a shortcut. Is it Control-Shift-E? No. That's something else. Control-Alt-E. There we go. And we're in magic mode. Not sure this is the mode I want, but it'll do the job maybe. Can I blueprint from here? I can. Good. We just have a big flat empty space to build in and I can blueprint from it. And I should be able to just magically spawn anything I want, like rail. Perfect. So this, what was it? Control-Alt-E? The base is still running. It's still going to make stuff. Our research is still going to continue. But meanwhile, we can sit in the lab and design blueprints of stuff and make some progress. So here we will design what the grid's going to look like, copy it into blueprints, take it into the world and start building it out bit by bit. A general design, I'm kind of happy with what we had in the previous factory. That kind of, you know, square grid, 4 cardinal train stations. The sides are 3 times the length of the train, though I might try 5 times, just we'll look at it. And the lines cross and there's roundabouts where they join and that kind of thing. So I want just like a reminder of all the things we need to think about. We need to think about power coverage. We need to think about potentially using substations, though I probably won't. Want to see the roboport coverage, and radars would be needed in the design. That's about it, I think. The kind of stuff to not forget. The stations themselves are a bit more complicated. We can kind of leave that. No, we can't because we need to know how wide they are. Okay, we're going to need to worry about the stations pretty quick. Oh, but that's obvious. Yeah, you just want to remember that we want to like have roboport coverage over the size of whatever we do. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of rail to play with. I think it just spawns in when I ask for it, but we'll see. And over here we will start laying some out. Distance between it, before we did like a gap of 2 like that. I don't think that's going to be enough. Might be like this and this can be wider. And those two are that close. Possible. Even touching, maybe. Maybe. Need signals to check that. We drive on the left. Personal preference. So we can't have them touching. Because that's where the signal needs to live, but they could be one apart in the middle. Possible in theory, I think. We'll see. I think the width between these is based on how big the station's going to be, so we'll probably need to design that first, actually, to work that out. Interesting. And then up here, we're coming from a roundabout. So they need to be able to join. We don't know what distance that's going to need. Interesting. Okay. Rough idea. Let's start with the station then. We need that to know the distance between these rails, which is one of the starting things. So we'll need to work that out. Strip all that back a minute. We will have a logistical train stop initially, of course. If let's say we're working on the left hand. We're on the eastern edge of a square at the moment. And this is the left-hand side of the lines we're looking at. So that can be there. It'll have probably a chain signal in front, regular signal at the back, so that's the length of a train. Nice and small. In fact, we can put them in. There's a locomotive. There's the wagon. That's it. That's what we're having. Not confident it's going to work at all, but it should be fun to watch. We can get them pretty fast with the right fuel and the higher level trains from that mod. What is it called? Better train system? I think they're going to be pretty speedy. We'll see how that goes. So we want white inserters, pumps, bits of pipe, storage tanks, steel chests, belt, and so on. Could design it in yellow and upgrade. No, we'll design it in blue and run a downgrade on it to build it initially. That's fine. So as I was looking at before, we need the inserters, and I think we should do both sides so that we can get up to 2 whole belts out, or 4 different things on half belts, perhaps. They run together like that. No, they don't. They go into a chest. Which also has the same kind of inserter coming out. That doesn't need to be filtered, because the filter into the chest, I don't particularly want to make both filtered and unfiltered the same thing, especially not at this point, so I think we stick with it like that. Then they come together like that. They do have to go that way. They can't go that way because there will be a pump, and then that needs to go underneath it or something. So we can't just go there and then go underground. Unfortunately, it needs to go that way. Because we only have one wagon, so whether it's physical or fluid, it has to be there. And we could design a station like different ones. So, you know, the station at the north of a particular square is just for fluids. But I don't know, I kind of like the idea of having one that can do anything. And you could have both physical and liquid delivered to the same point, perhaps. I just like the idea, so we're going to run with it and see how it goes. Might be a complete disaster. Okay. These... So in theory, we could join them into a belt. Could do with, if I shift 3, then I can put the blue stuff on my shortcuts here. On a different... Is that the way I have it? Yep, okay. And then a belt comes over, and then we've got the belt from this side, and it's just 2 of them. But let's say we're not joining them because they're going to be different, 2 different half belts. So both belts need to run on. And if they're the same thing, then we could change it later and put the splitter in. Or we have multiple blueprints, different options, whatever. But, you know, for now, we'll say we're not joining them. Here we're going to make 4 half belts of different things, let's say. From there they can go under. These would also, let's say, go down. You'd have all 4 there. Don't love that. Kind of want it to go, it's either there. No. There. Send them down 2 more. Let's say. Sure. It's a start of something. Okay. There's some things we should put in. So the next signal, for one, put that there. Leave that for now. We will have some kind of signalling. Because we want to know where the pole is to do that. Going to want that bit of rail in. But what we do after that, actually, yeah, that's not going to be like that either. In theory, there's a crisscross here, so that belt. But we, you know, if we can't do that because of that belt, then we leave it like this, and it'll be more than 3 train lengths long. Which, the inside of the square being 3 train lengths by 3 train lengths, I think that's way too small to do anything. So, I think it will have to be more than that. I wouldn't mind it being 5, let's say. In which case, like that signal would be there, let's say. And then there's a crisscross. And then a corner or something. We can come back to that in a bit when I'm happy with the station. The signalling. So the way we're going to control the inserters to know when loading is done. So if this is an unloading station, which is going to be the bigger, I guess, we'll need to design both, so I know. At an unloading station, they just unload everything. And that's it. And then they leave. And there's not anything to worry about. So all it needs is a constant combinator that feeds information into that light. And that should be it. In theory, as long as we set their like delay and idle time to the right length, because this is not going to unload quickly, not until we get a bunch of research done on stack inserter size. Initially, it's not going to unload very quick, unless it is unloading one thing onto 2 lines, then it would be quite quick. Okay. And the like fuel will be done at a depot, not here, so we don't need anything for that. So this area at the top's quite empty. So for the unloading station, we could send the belts across there, which would mean we could do the crisscross closer. In theory. We also have to account for, we put them here as well, pipe, underground, and tank. Unload to a tank that could be there. That's good spacing, maybe. Wrong one. That's pumping to there. And then this needs to go under, across a bit, and over. Okay, can't make the whole leap in one. That's not bad though. And into the same tank. That might as well be above ground. Same deal on this one. To there. It's not bad actually. But then yeah, the belt needs to move. Which is more reason to send it up instead of down. Man, I could play the whole game with this cheat mode. Might defeat the purpose somewhat, but it is nice and quick. Let's say we went up instead. and them, and then I'd like a gap, wouldn't I? Because I generally do, so that'll be there. Not really an option. So we don't leave a gap then. That one's there, that one's there. Again, it's okay because we don't need anything around that tower. But yeah, okay. Pumps, pipe, belt. Vaguely happy with that. Could join and then unjoin the belt if we wanted to reduce that. So you could join them there, turn it into one belt, and then over here where you're using it, split it back out into the two different items. So one will be on the left, the one on the right, and then you resplit it over here. It's half an idea that I don't love, but it's something. And that's generally okay with me. For an unloading station, I'm not entirely sure if loading will work, but because that's there, we can then have the crisscross, which needs to go a bit further. I'd normally have a gap at 2, and this is 4. If we put it immediately next to the pipe, which we can because the signal's on the right-hand side. So yeah, okay with that. That's to there, so the crisscross is pretty wide. That signal won't end up being there. Which ain't bad, actually. Put a bit more in. Chain signal for that would be there. And there. And that signal's there, and there'll be another one there. And then chain signals on the inside, so... where? Doesn't matter. There and there. Okay. So that separates it so that a train on the outside going up doesn't have to stop just because there's a train here. And they need the signals in the middle. But that's, I mean, that's good. If I take that away and copy that much to there. So the chain signal immediately after the station, and then the one on that side. So that's in the wrong spot. Yeah. Well, should be there, let's say. So that could be a whole bit back. But not any further? No, I don't think so. I think that's it. Okay. That fits a train there. And then that's just slightly forward because the station's in the way. They're there. And then on the other side of the station, regular old signals. That would let us have a crisscross immediately before the station, which I like, which is good. Then you want a train length, then the roundabout. That would be the minimum length, which we can look at. So let's do that. A train length, whatever that looks like. Probably not that much. There and there, and then. So it's 4 across, so do I go forward 4 and then turn? 1, 2, 3, no. The middle needs 1. There. And then we go round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. And then if that's the middle square there, turns and turns. And then the distance to the next one is whatever it is. It's not terribly important. Flip. It could be as close as that, but no closer. So the 2 gap in the middle is a minimum. It's not what I wanted. What have I done? There we go. Or however that all goes, that's not important, but that's all fine, I guess. We could move it closer. So this signal, instead of being before the corner, could be in the middle of the corner, and then this gap of 4 could be shorter, which I think I would generally like. But my point is, if we put the same at the bottom, which would be there or there? There, I think. Then the square is only that big. Like that far up and that far across is not going to do much. What is how can I measure that? Doesn't really matter. I join that. Copy it. That's the space we'd have to build, and the station takes up this much space to unload. So if we had that on 3 points and then wanted to create something in the middle, you could do something. Like, it's not nothing. It'd be quite interesting trying to get like an efficient outcome from a square this small, but it does just kind of feel too small, personally. That's also wrong, because I've left a train length at the top but not at the bottom. But if we did half that, at its smallest, I think it's roughly this big. And I think that's too small, personally. So let me pull a bit of that all away. And we can take a look at it being a bit different. So if we instead crisscrossed again, that's where those signals are. Move that, change them to be chain signals. And then that's the end, yeah. So that is then here. Regular on the output, chain on the input. That's not necessary. Might be necessary. I mean, that seems like a more sensible length of side to me. When you have that much space to unload, and then it's actually maybe a bit too big. Am I wrong? What did we have before? Just for a bit of context for me. We had I want to work from the bottom, don't I? It was 10 units in length, which, I mean, I haven't changed the settings, so it should be... I know we were measuring 12 for symmetry, so that's 1, 2, 3 times. So it was that, and then the corners started. So the amount of build space, I'm saying, moved down. That's about 104 rail instead of 120. Cutting off a sixth. That's no. I would have grabbed some wrong with this, but 100 instead of... That doesn't look right, does it? I feel crazy looking at that. Going down, yeah, 72, that's more like it, instead of 127. $55, blah, blah, blah. The math right. 57% of the length of a side, so don't know what that does to the area because I don't know math, but 57% of the area. No, less, much less, right? If the sides were half the length, the area would be a quarter of the area. So we're roughly in that kind of realm. The previous grid we built with super long trains against what we're talking about now. Quarter in each square, which kind of sounds good. Like enough space to do something meaningful, I think. So let me remove all that again. I kind of like this idea. It's 5 train lengths, 2 crisscrosses. So if a train is in the station, one can wait here, another can wait here, and block the whole way. Shame you can't kind of prevent that. But you could have 4 trains waiting up to, and then the others would take a parallel route to get around them, which isn't the end of the world, based on the speed I expect them to ultimately go in this design. But it'd be nice if the ones waiting always went to the inside. I don't think we can do that. It'd be fun if you could. I mean, no, you can't. Not that I'm aware of. That's fine. We'll live. Okay, I kind of vaguely like this. We need to factor in what we're going to do at the corner. So if instead of going 4 forward and turning, we just turned, it's like around 1 extra and then around, then we might cut this back a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where it would be, but further over. And have that halfway round. Or there. No, that doesn't fit a whole train. But there does. Interesting. And the next signal would be based on this. I mean, just copy that much for now. It should be there, right? Yeah. Or there. This is square, that's a corner, that's a corner, that's a square. The signal's on the first square. That's correct. That's the signal that's been replaced by that one. And that's the next one, and a whole train can fit behind that. So that's would be okay. Absolutely. There's a crisscross, there's a crisscross, there's another one. I like, so far. Sure. We grab this much of crisscrossing, and it should be lined up and 2 away. There, there, and there. Can we turn that to the middle square? That one should turn into there. It does. We would change some signals here, just get that right before we do it. So the inbound ones should be chains, and then in the middles, or wherever, let's go middles. Separate them out. No, that's not right. Is it these middles? Yes. So if you can see the coloured blocks, if something's approaching from the south and turning left, it doesn't prevent someone approaching from the east turning south, because first guy's in the pink block, second guy's in the yellow block. And that should be fine, although they've got the bypass route as well, which could be relevant with the faster the train is travelling, the further ahead it has to reserve its route, depending on like its braking speed and its acceleration speed and stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm expecting our little trains to be going very fast, and they're probably going to reserve like an entire block ahead of them, which will be kind of interesting. You might see things just not moving that much because someone's about to come through very quickly. Or I could be very wrong, and these trains are going to be far too slow. Who knows? Still, that, pretty happy. Very circular roundabout in the middle. The gaps on everything looks cool. Lots of crisscross and everything. We still might need to adjust like a few bits here and there for where the power poles line up, where the robo grid lines up, that kind of thing. But as an initial conceptual layout, happy with all that. Let me extend the other side. Just going to grab all that. Can we flip? Not with the signals like that. Okay. Can I grab up to there? That's not right, is it? Because the chain signal is going to be on the wrong side. We'll just have to practice building this out then. So down here... Oh, this would be different anyway, because I mean, how far back do we have to cut the corner one? So from the signal's on a square? No. Signal's on the corner, then it's 1, 2, 3 squares. That's the signal that's missing. I need the other end of the corner. So the corner stops and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 and the signal's on that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then the corner. Then that one's there. And they are not right because you add an extra one in the middle here. There we go. And then they're 4 apart. Yep, okay, that's where that would be. Oh, I mean, this is now right? Let me just trim it to be same everywhere. Because it's showing all the angles. So if I grab that all the way to those signals, I should be able to line that up with the signals here. No, there. Yep. Perfect. Okay. It's a bit bigger than I was expecting with the squares, I guess. Not big though, really not big. Big enough to do a lot. Maybe too big, considering the size of the trains. We can continue this design and then we can, next to it, put one that's smaller and build out like a whole square or grid of squares and work it all out. We'll see. Can we make one that's just the size of a single roboport? Maybe. Okay, so crisscrossing. Let me change. They're correct. They're correct. That makes sense. Here-ish. That's good. And then there. Cool. Copy that one. It's not got any signals. There. Yes. Chain signals coming in. Chain signals in the middle. Way around should they be? There. Closest, so they should be there. And then there near the cross. Like that, okay? And regular signals on the exit. Well, that should be the same there. That one needs to move forward one because the train station lives there. Okay. So if this is an unloading station, we need to design a loading station. Which, just grab that and turn it around. Not quite. Pump needs to be one closer. Inserters are fine. They don't need to be filter inserters. It does open some possibilities though of having a loading station that can load multiple different things. I'm not sure what square would be manufacturing multiple different things. It could happen, I guess. And you could use the signals to change the filters to tell it what to load. I don't think that's going to happen. Loading, we want to do it evenly without using a circuit network if we can. That's the ideal setup. If we can avoid unnecessary circuit networks like we have here, we haven't put in the kind of network balancing that we did, where you have you calculate an average of the storage and only unload the ones that are at below average. No, the ones that are above average get unloaded. We haven't done that, and that could, in theory, cause issues, but the way that this is unloaded, it really shouldn't. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be okay, because we're going to run on much smaller numbers as well, much closer to the actual demand. Hopefully. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. In any case, if we want to do these evenly, we can't exactly do the opposite of this because of how they're joined, but we kind of want to split how we have done. So split in half there, one for there and one for there. Take another half. It's in the way. If that went there, you could put a splitter there. Like that. That splits everything evenly, but it's very ugly. I think. I think that's ugly. So if you had them, that's much neater. A line goes in there. What's the betting that just does not fit over here? Kind of does not fit. So that is needed there. Okay, there's half of something here. If you go under that, you can run here to avoid that. Initially we're going to have yellow undergrounds which can't make this whole journey, so we have to factor on something else there. Probably go under that. Come over here, bit close to where we're going to need to do some circuitry, but might be okay. That can be there, that can be there. We need to split again. Let's say here. And do that. Okay. Prettier, in my personal opinion. You are welcome to disagree. Need... Bring these over into tanks. That's the other way around, I guess. They're pumping out of the tank. Which isn't great like this. How did we do that? Over here. That's connected? Yeah, good. Cool. My issue is the pumps on the far side have got a lot longer to draw from. Which isn't... It's not a major issue. In fact, I don't think they even work. Am I crazy here, actually? Just had a thought. You can't unpump from two sides at the same time, because only one pump can attach. Wrong one. Fluid wagon. Right. So if the pump on the left starts pumping out, the one on the right can't attach. The only value would be if we could grab the middle from either side, which we can't because the chests are in the way. Interesting. That changes things. Just a thought. There's, yeah, no point in trying to pump from both sides. Okay. Unless we do change all this. You could move that over to get that pump in. But then you might as well do that on this side. No, because they're in the way. Sure. You have them. Currently that's inserting on the top and they're running into each other. I think. You can change that to do... No. There's a way of doing it, I'm sure. I'm not sure if I can work it out. That's going to be on the top. Oh, just, yeah, from memory. Sure, need 1 second, and I also just thought we haven't actually looked at our base in a while, which is probably okay. It's smelting. Some drills, quite a few drills have stopped, but there's still coal going to the power. Oil is still moving, stuff is still flowing, being produced, research is still happening. I think it's progressed since we were here. Can't see, I guess, because when we switch into the lab mode, it doesn't show our research queue from this world. Seems fine. Just check power. Yeah, close, but we're good. Okay. Ought to check that more often, still. How do we do this? Splitter? It inserts on the far side, won't make a difference. go that way and then do something, take up more space. They're not going to be there per se. Send that one that way, then join them. Move the belts one further over. That one that way. Maybe. What have I done different there? Ah, that one that way. Yep, there we go. To there. Okay, in theory. Other pump. Either of those, let's say there. Then it just needs to go under there, which you can do in one stretch. Okay. And doesn't get in the way at all. Interesting. Very much. Those are no longer needed either. That pump is going onto a pipe. It'd be nice if it went onto a tank. I don't think that's going to happen though. Like you put a tank there, won't reach, but you could join them like that and then make a hell of a mess. Commander, hello. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Having a nice day. I am confusing myself very well here. It's going to pump there. You've had a lovely day, glad to hear it. How about me? Not bad. Not bad day. Some good Minecrafting progress this morning. And then a nice lunch, very nice lunch. Chilling out a bit. I'm struggling a bit with the hay fever at the moment. I think everyone is. It's making me a bit lethargic, you know, sleepy all day, which isn't great, but doing okay. Had a fun day, I think, in general. I would have even more fun if I could get happy with this, I guess. That's what I'm looking for. Some point in the next 10 minutes, I'd like to be happy with this. It's just that is outputting into... I mean, it was input pipe before, so it's inputting... I think that's fine. Not like 100% happy, but I think it's fine. It also creates the opportunity to move this into that gap, which makes it a bit more compact, which I love. So about yeah, hay fever happens every year. It's no controlling it. If we're doing that, I do like symmetry. That does mean moving that, yeah. Move that back one, that's fine. Flip that, there we go. No. Because they're on a different spot. Okay. But we can do that, which is more symmetrical, if a bit arbitrary. But still, more is better. Does mean that pipe doesn't reach, so we need to move that over one. Which we can. Okay, not horrible. Vaguely happy with this. This side. And then this side, same thing. You can't use the pumps on both sides at the same time, so they need to move. They're no longer relevant. Take them away. Can we... just do the obvious, take that all the way under. Put that pipe there. Wiggle that round and then find some different way of splitting this out. Somehow. While keeping it symmetrical. That seems harder than the other side. I mean, that can have that. So if we did that here and fed them in, and that like that, we just didn't do that bit. Seems fine. Then we have a splitter there and there. Okay. Okay. Seems fine. If it works, which can we check? We can. If it lets me spawn an infinity pipe in here, it does. So this is our filling station. Filling. This is our unfilling. Okay. And on the filling station, we're just going to create oil magically. And on the unfilling, we're going to delete oil magically. We're going to magically spawn in a whole bunch of nuclear fuel to feed the train and tell it to run from filling to unfilling. Just wait for an activity and go. So the little train should spin around and come... Oh. Small issue of there's no electricity here. Let's just... We'll work out where the poles will really live at some point. Let's just get everything powered up for now. Bunch of solar will do the job. I assume it's always day in the test lab. Paste a bunch of these out. That's enough to power the inserters and pumps and stuff. Okay. So he's just been to filling. Now he comes to unfilling. All 3 pumps connect. If I turn alt mode off, we can see front, middle, and back. Perfect. It pumps it out into the tanks, which it's deleting, you know, taking it away. Pumps go back in. Comes over to filling. All 3 pumps connect. Yep. In their fancy animations, which we love. Okay. And when he's full, which he is now, off he goes around the loop. And he comes and he gets unfull. Okay, that works perfect. Let's switch him off for now. So, am I happy with that? I kind of am. Specifically the layout of the station. So at loading, it all wiggles around. Works fine for me. And at unloading, a bit messier. But it all works for me. We need to factor in, yeah, there's going to be a constant combinator feeding info there, but also at the loading station we need some calculation on what we load and when we're done. So rather than before where we were just filling a train in, like full train load every time, every journey was a full train load. Here we're going to load what they're asking for, and you take various signals from various points, compare them and feed it back in. But we should, there's enough space here to do that. It might take, I don't know, an arithmetic and 2 deciders per product, which could be... I've just realised none of this really matters too much. When we're loading, we're not going to load both liquid and solid at the same place, are we? Could happen. I doubt that will ever happen. It's entirely possible we'll unload fluid and solid at the same place. That could bring benefit. But loading wise, going to produce something in a square that seems very unlikely. So we could just have the loading be whatever. But I guess brain's going all over the place. There's enough room here for the things we need. Definitely. I'm happy. There's enough space between the lines that this is good. This network of rails, all good. So that's fine. The missing bit of the puzzle is what we've got down here. So power pole coverage. We're going to use these medium ones. We need everything powered, and ideally all the poles are evenly spaced out throughout the entire grid. So if I take this whole thing. Don't really want these. Can I just... Yep. Man, useful mod this. Extra cheaty mode. Copy the entire thing, rotate it, and build in the square. Okay. So we have a square in the middle now. This is all loading stations, but that doesn't really matter. It kind of matters. So we also need to build in a square that's entirely loading stations, which I can't do by copying that. What do I need? I need like this half. That's what we've got there. So if I put that there and so on, we get an entire square of loading. No. Yes. Unloading. So this is all loading. This is all unloading. Right. Cool. If we have medium power pole, what's the best place to start? I guess we want to work out how we get good coverage here and then see if we can apply that. Like this is roughly the middle. So we have that there and that there. It'll power this side of stuff, which is okay for a second. I then place them at this distance. Full power coverage everywhere. That ends there, which is one away from the rail, which is awkward. So to mirror that would move everything to the right one, which leaves those inserters not powered. Okay. But we're going to have some over the rail there, and then that signal is in the way. Oof, that's annoying. Can we move it? No. It has to live there. Very annoying. Okay. It's the only spot that can power all that. Other than the one behind it, but that would mean moving that over. We could move a whole bunch of squares this way. No. Damn. Because that's not bad other than that. As far as getting power coverage everywhere goes. We may need to just change the size of the square entirely to make it do better. If we wanted this to be one square shorter, one square wider, we can do that by reducing the number of rails by one. But it's so symmetrical, we can't pull one out anywhere. We need to either pull one at the top, one at the bottom, which would create a different problem, or we add to it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish. So instead of taking one out, we add 8 in, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Okay, there's something to that. Difficult to do. If we grab this slot like that, I think. Yeah, a few poles I don't necessarily want. Let's go throw it over here. If we were to add 4 and 4, we would pull this slot back to how it was. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Oops. Need to cut and paste. So it was there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll carry on forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then join. That comes around that corner and joins, and then the signal would be in line with that one because that's how we had it before. It's good going, actually. Remove. So what is that? That's an inbound. Take that away. And that. And that. And I can copy that much. And then the outbounds need changing. Just like that, really. Move that up, change that signal so it's round the corner. There, I think. That's a whole train on the corner. Cut those bits out. Copy that lot. Bit more than that. There and there. Okay. It moves this signal further from the circle, which I don't love because someone's waiting here. There's not enough space for them to wait further forward. So they're just going to, if they have to wait and it's their turn to go, it takes more time to get through the junction like this. But, you know, there we go. After that point, we should be able to grab like this much. Line that up there. Then grab that much and stick it on the end. And that's the new square. And in this world, that lives there. And that there, maybe? Not so certain now. Yeah, perfect. At the corner point is like where you can tell this is aligned with the rail by touching it, and this is aligned by touching it, and there you go. The power poles at the station power everything, except that one. I don't think there's anything you can do about that. We could do the whole kind of thing again in order to move it one to the left or one, but that thing is so big that I think you just skip that. We only have these two poles to power the inserters and the pump, and then the rest stay on the right hand side, and that's that. Can copy paste this, can't I? Didn't think of that. We're in cheat mode. And this end, it's wrong. What have I done wrong? Oh, I've missed. That looked like there's a gap, but there isn't one. That square's got the rail in, that square's got the power. That's touching. That's not. It's one square away and rails are 2 square long. It can't fit. So how did we do it previously? How did we get that to fit? If we add a rail, there'll be a 1 gap at the top or the bottom, one or the other. Ooh. I don't know, is the answer to that. I have no idea. I'm probably going to have to go back to either the old video on YouTube or try and re-download all the mods and reload the save file from our previous run and work out how we got the power poles to fit square when the distance between the rails here is not an even number. Wait, am I... Right. The distance isn't an even number. But it has to be? Ooh, I'm confused as hell now. We have to make it odd by leaving a gap. Doesn't make any sense. Without overlapping our power poles, which I hate doing, but we might have to at some point, but we can't overlap them in the middle, so it'd be maybe this one. Just moves up one arbitrarily in order to fit everything. That's half an idea, and I might need to do a bit more research, but we are 4 hours into the stream. Now that's wrong as well. I've gone the wrong way. I want to end up there. I'm very good at confusing myself, aren't I? That's where we want to be, which is 3 away from where that pole is. It just doesn't make sense to me. How can something that's too wide create a gap that's an odd number? It's because we've got an odd number. Each pole is, what, 5 or 7? 1, 2, is 7. Each pole is an odd number. If we've got an odd number of poles, it's an odd number. If we have an even number of poles, it's an even number. So we need to fit an additional pole in, which, if we're there, means fitting 2 more bits of rail in. Although they're not really aligned well, but I think in theory that works. So we just need to stretch it out by 2 more bits of rail. Maybe. Which we can do, I guess dead center would be best. In any case, let's not fry my brain today doing that. Let's hop back to the factory. Our research queue is finished. That's not surprising, so let's refresh that. We can do more inserter capacity. That helps. So might as well. Okay, it does something. Most other things here do nothing. We want the electric furnaces for when we set the grid up. We will want advanced oil processing for when we do that. And access to lubricant, I guess, is half relevant, which is better than not relevant at all. And then, I mean, solar power could be nice to have. It's a bit early, maybe. Generic buff to mining might be more relevant. Potentially. Not sure it really matters. Why not? Generic buff to mining, and then generic buff to mining 2. That'll do. Good a plan as any. In any case, we're well into this stream. Let me save the game, move that forward, and wrap things up for the evening. So thank you very much for joining me today as I strained myself at the end there. We made great progress overall in the session. So in the previous YouTube video, we got our petrochemical up and running. We started making a whole bunch of components for the rail system, and then in this half we have finished the setup of producing all of those ingredients, and then gone into planning mode and try to get a layout which is close, very close. If we can get those power poles lined up good, then I'll be very, very happy. So if you are catching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching the series. Do like the video if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe to the channel to catch the rest of the series, but especially do come join us live on Twitch. Come follow the channel here, get involved live. That is the most pleasant part of this process, is having people here, for sure. So do that if you can.